Well, good morning. We are running down, or I am running down to a town south of me, about an hour. Starting a project here pretty soon, and what I'm actually doing is going down to do a site assessment for logistics, meaning I am gonna walk the project to determine where we can drop lumber, dumpsters, portable toilets, all that stuff. We're gonna verify some dimensions. I'm meeting with the homeowner down there. You guys might have seen, he was on one of our podcasts recently, Casey Thompson. Great dude, smart guy. He actually is a master electrician, but he's also a project manager. So he's gonna be running more of the day-to-day on this project. It's gonna be a little bit different. Anyway, so what I do is I go down before the project begins. Right now we're under review for our permits. So while we're waiting on approval, I go and kind of just verify dimensions, locations, and like I said, logistics. So we're gonna do a little walkthrough. You guys can come along for the ride, and we're gonna make sure everything is good to go. I got about an hour drive ahead of me, so it's early morning.
You can see the world the way it really is. Always.
Are we really doing a crawl space? Like 3 feet deep crawl space?
Yeah.
So we're pulling a lot of fucking dirt out of here.
Yeah, it's gonna be giant piles.
So I got those guys I was emailing last night. They said they can take dirt.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to lose dirt.
There's yes and no. I mean, some of this has got to go regardless.
This is gonna fill.
This has got to fill.
Because this is no longer gonna be driveway.
Right.
So there's a little bit of dirt we can spoil into this. The root system of that tree will come out, so that'll spare some.
That's gonna be so deep, man.
Same with that tree, but well, that one I don't think I'm going for the roots on. I think I'm gonna cut that off at about here and actually make a little table thing out of the tree stump.
That'd be a good idea.
Put a couple of chairs next to it, and it's a little.
It's
Because I know the root system of that is crazy. Plus my water goes out right there.
Oh, it does. Okay.
Goes out and comes in right there.
Yeah.
So I don't want to get into the ground more than I have to.
It's probably 8 or 9 feet deep though. So.
Those roots are.
Oh, I know. It finds it. It goes and finds it. So. Yeah, that's gonna be.
So losing dirt, I got trucks that'll do it. I know there's cost in there, but
It's probably $300 or $400 a haul usually.
yeah.
And one dump truck. I mean, we're probably gonna be because I forgot about this too. Probably 3 or 4 hauls would be my guess.
That's what I guess.
Because of what we have to deal with on. So right here we've got dirt up against siding. The grade is poo-poo.
It definitely, and it's even worse.
It's worse back here, as I remember.
The steps in that patio take it up another foot. So when we go back there, we'll see it. But yeah, my grade is up on right here.
Yeah.
On the back of the house. Obviously, that's got to go down 12 or 18 inches.
Yeah, and that's including what we're doing for the new foundation addition. So, yeah, I'm guessing probably 3
back
or
here
4.
talking about excavation. And by the way, obviously, this is coming down.
This is all going out.
This whole thing's going to be gone this weekend. This
Okay.
garage is going to be gone. I'm going to cut it off.
He's gonna run the skid steer himself.
I'm going to cut this off right here. Now,
Okay.
a question right away is when I cut that off right there and take everything that way down, do I need to protect this temporarily?
The easiest way to do that, that's a great question, and the answer is yes. We should probably get a roll of zip tape.
That's what I thought.
Yep, and just literally just put it up. Okay, so building a home behind this, the way to do siding is with rain screen. There's no rain screen here, that's why it's doing this. Behind this should be wrap. So we're gonna find out real quick that you've got, oh my God, so CDX. So you've got, this is exterior insulation. This is foil faced insulation.
Okay.
Behind this should be house wrap. House wrap will protect it against the elements temporarily.
Understood.
If there's no house wrap, the actual sheathing itself can last for a little bit. But I think we should probably, if there is no house wrap, we should get a couple rolls and just staple it up. It doesn't have to be perfect.
What, when I open it?
Yep.
All right, now what about when I demo all of this siding off the entire house? Is this okay as is, or are we gonna have
No,
to
that's
wrap
got to
this?
come up. I would take all that foil face insulation. It's toast. You can see this is all
So we're
water
gonna have
damage.
to redo it.
We don't need to have exterior insulation here though,
Okay.
because of what we're doing on the inside of the wall.
That's a question for me. And take a note, because I don't know what that consists of. When we pull all this siding off, what else do we have to do before we put the new siding on?
Depends on what we see behind that. That's really the answer,
That's what
right?
I mean, yeah.
So minimally, we need to wrap it if there's nothing. I'm gonna guess, because of the age of the house and the foil that's sitting there, it's probably a CDX type sheathing behind it, which it was kind of their first attempt at like a zip system, but it had a barrier. It's probably gonna have that, which is rotted. It's gonna smell like dirty feet.
Sweet.
Fingers crossed it's got a house wrap that's in good shape, but just based on, this is why you actually rain screen siding, but just looking at that, I'm guessing the rest of it's looking the same because of what the siding looks like. So assume you're doing that.
Yeah.
Best case scenario, you don't have to.
I took this big ass bush that was here down last week,
Okay.
and we spoil dirt where we can. Those excavators with the skid steer, or me with the skid steer, are gonna pop all this retaining wall off and put all that in the dumpster.
Yep.
And then we're prepping our whole site for, well, construction, but the excavation, pulling the grade down, prepping this, losing dirt where we can, taking it that way. Dumpster will be gone at that point. And then the dig for the excavation, which you just told me that it is a 3-foot crawl space. That's true, right? Now,
Correct.
what about the furnace? Does that fit in that?
Furnace is going in the crawl space. Yep.
The structure ties in right here. So that foundation trench essentially goes here to here, takes off that way, and this is that tall stem wall that's 4 foot tall
Right.
that I've talked to our foundation guys all about, and they see it right on the drawings. They get
Yep.
it. And then when it gets to about 5'7" from that fence line, property line, it takes off that way and does the same thing on the front. Basically, it ties into the front of the house, same place that it does here on the back of the house. Demoing that front porch that you saw on the front of the house, because it's got to go away. We're gonna take that awning and put it on my neighbor's house.
No, okay, really?
Yeah. She wants it.
I'll see if that comes off nicely.
It will.
Okay.
I already looked at it.
Once these go, I mean, logistically, we're talking about when this does go. When do you want to pop these? Are you going to do it while you're demoing the garage?
Yes, as soon as my equipment gets here, that's going to go, and we're going to have to do the temporary erosion control and manage this dirt
Right.
and earth so it doesn't become a disaster. Excavators have got that under control. They know what they're doing. That gate's coming off because it doesn't quite, it opens about 80%.
Okay.
I'm going to take it off and replace it with a standard chain link so that we aren't limited to getting in and out of that gate. A camper can move, obviously.
Yeah, where's it going to go?
Well, I can slide it this way, so at least we have access straight in and out
of there.
if we need it.
Okay, so this project is adding an addition of about 800 square feet to the existing structure, which is Casey Thompson's house. And although Casey Thompson is a licensed master electrician and works as a project manager for a very large electrical company, I still am the general contractor. I am still needing to meet with him as the homeowner to discuss logistics. And as you can see, Casey is well adept at putting the logistics together, but even meeting as a team, him acting as the project manager on this, is drastically important to getting it done right and on time. Okay, even though Casey Thompson is not your typical homeowner, it's still vitally important that I meet with him to discuss logistical issues and movement before this project begins. One, because we want to stay on time getting everything going and having materials staged in certain areas, especially in a lot that's shaped like this, which is a pretty long lot but fairly narrow when it comes to workspace for this addition. I also need to make sure that those things arrive on time and in the right places for everyone that's going to be working on the job as far as my subs are concerned. Casey definitely has a great grasp of how these projects work based on his experience and what he does as a career, but I still wanted to come down here and walk this project numerous times before we got started, so I am on the same page with him because he is going to be working as the project manager on his own home. and I'm going to still be taking the role as general contractor, but he basically is going to be my construction supervisor. He's going to be the day-to-day guy that's going to be running the logistics, and to make sure that I have everything in place for him is so important because he has a full-time job. He doesn't get to just have the luxury of sitting at his house and work on this every single day. He's going to be off doing his own work, and so as smooth as it can be is super important. It's important with any job, but because I'm going to be a little less hands-on with this one, I want to make sure that we've got everything in place ahead of time. And it's super important to meet with him and Caitlin now to walk through his ideas, my ideas, and just figure out anything that's going to be an issue, troubleshoot any possible problems that are going to be coming up, because this is an addition. It's not a brand new home. We got to make sure that we're in play here. And having all of this in place ahead of time is super important with any project. Again, I always talk about organization. Logistics is an important thing to talk about and stay on top of throughout a project. So after running through the entire project scope with Casey, reviewing our pre-construction notes, and then walking the entire project, existing structure, existing materials, discussing with him anything that I may find could be a potential issue or things we need to address per what we have for structural drawings and architectural drawings so far. We review everything that we've got up to this point. Several site visits later, several months worth of note-taking and pre-construction meetings discussing what Casey sees, because he does live here, what I'm seeing based on the existing structures I've addressed, talking about systems, what's going, what's staying, basically reviewing everything we have with finalized plans now, and all the logistics as far as equipment moving in and out, people moving in and out because they're not going to be able to live here for a certain amount of time, crossing our T's, dotting our I's, maybe a little bit of both actually, and just basically making sure we're ready to go because permits are getting ready to get addressed, rock chalk, within the week. All right, guys, that's a wrap on this site visit. I appreciate you guys watching this video. Hopefully you learned something. That is literally how I do every site visit and project walkthroughs. During the pre-construction phase, yes, Casey Thompson is a little bit different animal when it comes to being a homeowner, since he's also acting as his own project manager. But I would meet with my team and walk through these projects with the homeowner as well during pre-construction, just to make sure everyone's on the same page. There's a lot of logistics that go into all these projects, whether it's a brand new home or in a remodel or an addition. In fact, in many cases, there's even more logistics if it's going to be a remodel or an addition or renovation of some sort, because you have homeowners currently living in the home. All of that stuff's in place during pre-construction. The more organized you can be, the less stress you're going to have during the job. As you can see, the scope of a general contractor is vast, and it is a high-stress environment all the time. The less stress that I can invoke on myself, the better, which is why I want to stay organized, and I do these walks many, many times before the project begins. As I'm actually recording this part of the video, we actually got approved for our permits, and we're getting ready to start here fairly soon, within a couple of weeks. Equipment on order, materials on order, we're getting moving, and making sure that Casey and Caitlin are on board to get ready to start. Some demolition is getting ready to start as well, and we have all of our I's dotted and T's crossed at this point. So appreciate you guys watching. Again, hopefully you learned something. If you have any questions, drop them in the comment section below. Keep watching this. This is going to be part of a longer series on the Casey Thompson renovation. So we will have a lot of videos with this project specifically. If you guys are new here and you would not mind hitting that subscribe button and the thumbs up, I'd really appreciate it. Make sure you hit that bell for future videos. There's all kinds of stuff coming out every Monday and Friday. Real estate, home building, DIY projects, all right here for you. As much information as you can get. And I appreciate you guys watching this. Till next time, keep building.
Lucy somehow called out the weight. Like, I got this sledgehammer and I picked up Lucy from school or something, and there it is. But I said, I got the biggest and heaviest sledgehammer I could find. And she was like, oh yeah, what is it, a 28? And I'm like, what? 16 pound is what it is. She was like, what is it, a 16? I was like, yeah, how the hell did you know that? She's 12 years old.
You can see the world the way it really is. Always.